Okay, after the game, Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Here you go.
No, because people are going to look back at 2 games last year and say something very similar, so these reactions always happen when you lose a game. It's a long season. That's what we tell our players. We're just going to take ownership in these losses and continue to get better. We know that we have a good football team. We've shot ourselves in the foot a little bit early on here in 2 games. Long season yet to go, and our guys are going to continue to improve and play better and get some wins.
Did you feel comfortable in the pocket back there? Or did you feel like with a lot of the pressure was going on, it was kind of hard to get a comfort going early in the game?
Second half, I thought the protection was great. They have a great rush. I mean, one of the, I would say, top 2 or 3 best rushes in the league. They got DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah, and they do a really good job with their picks in games too. And so, early in the game, you're going to have those. And, I can do a better job getting the ball out quickly. But I thought, for the most part, we protected the ball well in those situations, and that was my goal this week. And then the second half, I thought, offensive line protected great. We kind of warmed down in the run game, and then we were able to have some more time in the pass game, and that's what comes off of that. When we're able to run the ball well, and then they might be thinking run, and so then they're not so quick to get into their pass rush. And so the second half, was more efficient, better for us, but we just need to prolong that through the entire game.
Okay, so there you have it from some of the 2 of the participants, head coach Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. The best run game the Bengals had yesterday was Joe Burrow and having to scramble for his life. That's been the story of the first 2 games outside of one mix and run on that 4th down and 1 against the Steelers in the first game of the year. 7, 8, 9-yard run here or there, but averaging 3 yards a carry. The reason the Cowboys did not have the same pressure was also due to the fact that, much like the Steelers game, the Bengals possessed the ball nearly the entire second half. Their guys got tired and just got worn out, but not worn out enough to make a play when it mattered, especially on that final drive and that 3rd down and 3. Just, are we waiting for Zim?
We are still waiting. So why don't we just discuss the game?
All right, let's break it down for a minute till he gets on. And where do you guys want to start?
There's a lot.
Okay, well, go ahead. Pick something, and we'll start it, and we'll get it rolling.
I want to start with the coaching decision. And it might not be a coaching decision. It could be just a player's ineptness. I'm trying to use a nice word about this. To let Micah Parsons free, not just once, not just twice, but 3 or 4 times in the game, off the edge, uncontested.
Yep.
You want me to translate? Lyle Collins had a rough game.
He did. He had a terrible game.
And you know what's interesting is a couple of those times, I think it's safe to say, and I think Tony Romo pointed this out, is that when you have a brand new offensive line, now Collins was nicked up a little bit during the preseason, so I don't know how much he would have played even if they wanted him to play in preseason games, which they wanted none of their other starters to play in preseason games. And I know some of you feel like, boy, are you ever going to let it go? The answer is no. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to let it go. You have 4 brand new guys out of 5 on an offensive line. And through the history of football, we had Anthony Munoz on this show last week. Communication is the key. And a couple of those times, Casey, to back up your point, and Brandon, Collins takes the inside guy, Parsons the outside guy, clean rush to Burrow.
Multiple times. Yeah, and then I would like to get to the next point because, that's just unacceptable, right? That's like there's no game plan that should ever involve that if it was a game plan, which I think I saw something that it was actually just Lyle Collins making a mistake. Mm-hmm. But anyways, when Zach Taylor was asked how comfortable is Joe in the pocket, he says he's fine, he's good. The very next question that was asked was, about the sacks. And he says, oh, we're giving up too many of them. That's a contradiction. That's someone that is saying, like, Joe Burrow's not feeling comfortable getting sacked 6 times. You need to say that he's not comfortable in the pocket. And I get Taylor has had some real doozies in press conferences, but some of the things that he says after 2 losses back-to-back like this, I mean, we're on record pace for 119 sacks in a season.
119.
Yeah.
I don't do math in public because I'm not any good at it. But I just sat right down here and did the old-fashioned longhand math, and that's 119 sacks over 17 games.
Yeah. And just to put it in perspective, the 20 games that we played last season, we had 70 sacks.
Most in the league.
Most in the league. So that's like almost 50 more sacks.
Which is impossible to put it in perspective.
It's impossible. The thing that I hate the most about the whole offensive line conversation, though, is that, oh, this is one of the greatest defenses we'll play all season. It's one of the best defensive lines we'll play all season. That's always seems to be the theme, and everyone in the league has a good pass rusher. That's where we're going. That's the trend. We got to figure out some way to either get creative, and I mean, like, not to mention just the rush game is just completely bland.
Yep.
I mean, you look at teams like San Francisco who have a mild quarterback situation, and they're able to get 200 yards like that.
Yep.
That should be all the Bengals are trying to do is figure out something. They can't figure out anything right now.
No. And by the way, that vaunted pass rush of the Dallas Cowboys, and you talk about an offensive line that's either beat up, hurt, or playing brand new guys, is Tampa Bay in front of Tom Brady. The first game of the year, Dallas sacked Brady 2 times. Twice. Okay, 41-year-old, 40, what is he, 44?
He's 45.
45, out there running around, and he gets sacked twice.
You got to protect that brand new face.
Well, somebody told me the other day they thought he had something done.
It was me.
I don't
It was
believe
me.
it. No. I know you said it, but since you said it, I asked somebody if they thought that was true. 2 people I asked. 2 women, my wife and another friend of ours, a neighbor, Kathy Robinson, huge sports fan from Boston, used to love Brady. Now she can't stand him because he left. We went to the Marymount Indian Hill High School football game on Friday night together, and one said yes, work done. The other said no. All right, still knows him.
Still knows them.
All right, so Brandon, you have not weighed in on all this. Your concerns.
The concerning part is that it's not just one thing you can point to. It's the whole operation on offense, whether it be play calling, whether it be the offensive line, Burrow being comfortable, scheme with the offensive line and the play calling. I mean, it's all over the board. And I'm not here saying let's panic right away. I think I said highly concerned earlier. But the cohesion up front, the communication is obviously off. Mm-hmm. Whether it be the one guy who's coming back, Jonah Williams, getting beat off the edge, or La'el Collins not blocking somebody at all like Micah Parsons. And that's not all on LC. That's also on Frank Pollock. That's on Zach Taylor. That's on everyone collective. And then, people are tweeting back at me saying Burrow's holding on to the ball too long. Yes, that is happening sometimes, but I think that is a product of having a questionable offensive line that doesn't give you the confidence to get anything done. That's why I'm a little more concerned than I thought I would be if they were going to start 0-2, which I didn't think was possible, is the fact that it's not just one lineman's playing bad or the tight ends are playing bad. They're not able to take any shots. You heard Jamar Chase frustrated after the game yesterday that they didn't take any shots downfield.
Yep.
Boyd, Higgins didn't get targeted until the second half.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of running under center on 2nd and long. I know they're trying to open up the passing game by making some gains on the ground, but when you have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver trio in the league, Got to find a way to get creative to use them instead of they get paid way more money than me. But playing a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets, and running the ball under center on 1st and 10, 2nd and long, when you have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd,
Yeah, and
T. Higgins.
Look, they could have had Tom Brenneman, Casey McAllister, and Brandon Seho as their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th receivers yesterday for a half of that game.
They never got him to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the difference? The 3 of us could go out there and run pass patterns from now until the end of time. We don't get targeted. What the hell's the difference between us and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd?
I mean,
you don't even know they're on a team.
I mean, I'm the next thing coming of Cooper Kupp, but I don't know about you two.
I will say this. We got Zim on the line, so he's going to be able to check in just a sec.
Yeah.
I've covered the team the last 4 or 5 seasons. Burrow he does a very good job at controlling his public image and how he sounds. You can tell he's uncomfortable on the field and annoyed talking about it after the game.
Yeah. The last thing I want to just show you, because this is the big difference between this year and last year, is Burrow's targets throughout the game, right? There's an image here. I'm going to just put it up here.
Yeah, let's see it.
Right. So 24 completions. 18 of those completions are 5 to 6 yards. 5 to 6 yards are 18 of his 24 completions.
But Casey, he doesn't have any time to let guys run 10, 12, 15 yards down the field to get open.
But that's the thing. Last year, he would just take the ball and chuck it up and hope that Jamar Chase could go and make a play. And I understand that, they're in cover 2. But we have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Let them make a play against cover 2. These two are one of the best receivers in the NFL. They're one of the best contested catch receivers in the NFL, and we don't use their strengths currently. Now, I expect it to be different, and I hope it will change. But as of right now, things just got to get better. They just got to get better.
Well, I just continue to say they're not ready to play.